Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. As you saw from the thumbnail, I'm out of breath from fixing all these books, but I am doing a book on haul. These books are books that I've read and either given 1 or 2 stars to, or books that I've bought and I don't see myself reading and been in my TBR for like forever. I am so out of breath. Okay, so I'll let you guys know if it's a book that I read, and that'll mean it was either 1 or 2 stars and that's why it's not on my list anymore, or a book that I bought and just haven't read and don't feel like I'm ever gonna get to. Jesus Christ. And it is hot now. The first book is Afterworlds by Scott Westerfield. I had these all in a corner and now they're dusty. So these books, I'll either give them away, someone that wants them. Maybe I'll do like blind date with a book or used books on my Etsy if any of you guys are interested in any of these books. It could be there. I never read this. I know it's like a dystopian or something like that. I bought this a while ago and I don't see myself like ever really picking it up. I'm not a dystopian girly unless it's like the Kiera Cast, like the Selection series. That's the only like dystopian that I've like loved. And then I'm trying to read the Hunger Games now. I've never read them and I only saw the first game, the first movie. So I'm not really a dystopian girly. So this one's going bye-bye. This book is Self-Destructing from my TBR. I read On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I don't know if I didn't enjoy it because I listened to it on audiobook. But I wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't it for me, so it was either a 1 or a 2-star read. So it's not self-destructing from my TBR, but it's self-destructing from my shelves. These 2 books are by R.L. Stine, which is Party Games, and The Lost Girl. I think this one was a 1-star and this one 2. Maybe, I think they were both 1 stars, or this one was 1, this one was 2. He does Goosebumps and stuff like that, and as a kid I loved Goosebumps, so I thought I would enjoy his like YA books. But I have a 3rd one there on my shelves, and I think a 4th one, but a 3rd one in the same series, and I haven't read it yet, but it might be gone from my shelves soon if I read it. So use your nose. It's weird that I'm still leaving that one on my shelves and I'm not like self-destructing it from my TBR, because while I did hate these, I love Goosebumps, so I do want to give it a chance. And I see the dust flying and it's killing me. My allergies later are gonna be like... Anyway, I read Kill All Happies by Rachel Kahn. If You Can't Beat 'Em, Party. Honestly, I read that last year and I have no idea what this book is even about. Like, if we're being honest, I think I read it in the beginning of last year and it wasn't it for me. Like, I feel like it was a whole lot of nothing, I think. And I just, like I said, 1 or 2 stars, so it won't be on my list anymore. I mean, it won't be on my shelves anymore. I also read Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tucholk. I'm not sure that's how you say her last name. Like I said, read 1 or 2 stars. I don't even remember what most of these books are about. The next book I also read, and it was either 1 or 2 stars, and it's Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. Evil is Rising in Wonderland. It's a retelling of the Evil Queen. So yeah, I just wasn't into it. So getting rid of this one. The next one, this one might catch people by surprise, but I really didn't enjoy it. And it was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I know this is some people's like favorite books. I know Jesse from Jesse the Reader, he loves the series. But for me, it wasn't it, and I couldn't get through it. I literally had to pick it up on audio to like try to get to it. This is as much as I read physically. Until page 90, and I was like, I can't anymore. I literally cannot. So I did the rest through audiobook, and it sucks because this book looks so interesting and it has these like scary looking pictures, but it really wasn't giving, and neither was the movie. But that's just my opinion. Please don't come at me in the comments. The next one was A Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. I also read this one, didn't enjoy it. I much more prefer the show. I am rewatching it and I love the show, and this is just, it's not it for me. It's just not. So, no. Next we have another Evil Queen, Queen of Hearts. I don't know why I said Evil Queen. Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it's Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Like I said, it was also 1 or 2 stars. I think this one was a little bit different because she was like a baker or something like that. And she runs away with this guy, I think. something like that. It just, no. Didn't enjoy it. The next one is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I remember everyone used to love Rainbow Rowell books. People still obviously love them, but like this used to be like the hot topic back then. I bought this like years ago and I read it I think last year. I like the idea of like being able to talk with like your past self and stuff like that, but this just, it didn't do it for me. It wasn't a bad book. I think I gave it 2 stars, but it wasn't enough. Like I wasn't enjoying it enough to give it a 3. And it wasn't that memorable. Then I have The Fifth Petal by Brunonia Barry. I read this book years ago. And it's about like witches and stuff like that. Like I said, it was just like I read it, either 1 or 2 stars. Yeah, it's in Salem, so but the Salem witch trials, and I think the Salem witches like or something about the tree that they were hung in. I don't remember, but read it 1 or 2 stars. I also read Into the Water by Paula Hawkins, and I wasn't a huge fan. And it's funny because I'm watching a show now on HBO Max, The Good Behavior, and she talks about how she ghost drove her Paula Hawkins as one of her lies. And it's funny how this book is here. So I wasn't enjoying this book. I didn't enjoy it. Maybe The Girl on the Train is better, but this one just wasn't it for me, so it was either 1 or 2 stars. Okay, so I think a couple of the next books that I'm going to show you in this pile are books that I found like in Book Outlet like years ago. I used to have a booktube channel when I was in high school. It has like 5 videos and I never went back to it. And I would like do like hauls there because like with like 40 bucks you could buy so many books. So I ended up buying a lot of books that now in hindsight I'm not interested in. I feel like I did that for like no reason. So like I said, I'm not interested in them, so I'm not reading them. And one of them is Fate by Lainey Ross. I don't even know what it's about. There will be no miracles today is all it says in the back. And honestly I don't see myself reading it ever, so it's gonna self-destruct from my TBR. Next is Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson. It just says, welcome to Wind-Driven Abbey, Mississippi, 1855. Same ordeal. Bought it for no reason. Don't see myself seeing it, so it's self-destructing. Same with The Prince of Mist by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. A mysterious house harbors an unimaginable secret. I think I tried reading this one like when I got it, and I didn't. So, self-destructing. How to Love by Katie Cotugno. I think this was that she gets pregnant. It's like teen pregnancy. Yeah. So before and after her daughter. That's all I know. Not really reading it. Not really caring for it. The next one is Winter Spell by Claire Legland. It says, what a mesmerizing whirlwind of a story. So, yeah. I don't know what it is. So, self-destructing. Trial by Fire. I remember this one used to be pretty big. And it's by Josephine Angelini. I used to see everybody haul this, so I was like, I need it. I need it. I got it, and I'm like, I'm not reading it. So, it says, Worlds Collide, Magic Reigns, Love Burns. My eyes are already burning from the dust. Okay, Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn. I was gonna try reading this at some point, but I never really got to it. I know it's about like a summer, like contemporary, like YA romance, I think, but that's all I know. So, never read it, never going to. Sacred by Elena K. Arnold. Like I said, I don't know what it's about, and I'm never gonna find out because I'm not reading it. Maybe One Day by Melissa Cantor. I think I saw this one in someone's hauls back then, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that one. But for no reason. It says, in the face of tragedy, friendship is everything. Which it is. It's true. It's a true quote. But I'm not gonna read it. This one was a gift, but honestly, I don't see myself reading it. And it's The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. So, yeah. Make them love you. So, okay, and then next is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I watched the movie and that was enough for me. I don't need the book, so I am just gonna get rid of it. And it's the freaking movie cover, which sucks, but it's self-destructing. Let me separate these. Next is Cruel and Altered, which I bought and never read either. And I'm not going to, quite honestly. It's books 1 and 2, I think there's 3, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read this. I think it's also a dystopian, Deadly Secrets, Tangled Lies, Woven Truths. And I'm never gonna get to them, so might as well pass them along to someone that will actually read them, because I will not be reading them. Next I have The Babysitter's Club, books 1 and 4, because I found them at the thrift store. I read 1, didn't really care for it, and I don't want to buy the rest of them, so I'm getting rid of both of these. And honestly, I get like ached out sometimes by some books from thrift stores because they're like a little like so yeah, getting rid of them. And they're by Anne M. Martin. I almost said the name of the book, the name of the thingy. Anyway, then these 3 books are from the same series, which is the House of Night novel. I have Marked, which is the first book, Betrayed, which is the second book, and Neferet's Curse, which is like a novella, and like I think like actually like 12 or 13 books. I bought these 2 at Kmart when they were like still a thing here in Miami. And then this one I bought it in book outlet, so I was like, it's part of the same series, not knowing that it was like 13 or some shit like that. I know it's about vampires. That's all I know. I read some of Marked. I think I got it to a couple of chapters. I didn't care for it, so they're leaving. They're leaving. Okay, then I have Enchantress by Maggie Anton. Never read it. Bought it for the same reason. It was cheap. Never gonna get to it. Raven Queen. My mom went to a thrift store, bought it for me, thinking that I was gonna enjoy it. Didn't really care for it, so getting rid of it. Oh, sorry. Raven Queen is by Jules Watson. Then we have Strange Sweet Song by Addie Rue. Music is in her blood. And this one I bought in book outlet, I think, and I'm not gonna read it now. Every Day by David Levithan. I got this in a blind date with a book. By mistake, I clicked like romance category rather than horror, which is what I wanted, and I got this, and I don't really want it. I don't want to read it. I haven't even watched the movie, so I'm not really interested in it. Then I have Scintillate by Tracy Clark. I'm not gonna read it. Like I said, book outlet. It was cheap. I wanted to start my book collection. Now I have too many books. I'm like, I don't need it. It was the same with The Captive Maiden by Melanie Dickerson. I think this is like a Cinderella retelling kind of thing, but I could be wrong. I could be. And then I got Phoebe and Her Unicorn, Volume 1. I read it. Didn't really do much for me. I think it was probably like 2 stars. But I bought it at Books A Million, like the bargain section. I did read it, but it was nothing crazy. I also bought this at Books A Million in the bargain section. Death at Death's Door, Volume 1. Hated it. It was 1 star. Not for me. Then I bought Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. It was at a thrift store. I read it. Don't care for it. Jesus Christ. I'm getting rid of it. The rest of these, I've read all of them. So I don't have to say it again. This is Mooncakes by Wendy Xu and Suzanne Walker. It is a graphic novel. Everybody loved this. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I think I gave it 2 stars and I felt bad because I was like, everybody loved this. Why didn't I? But yeah. So I'm getting rid of it. And then I love this book. I'm only getting rid of it because I have an edition that I didn't want. I already have the matching one. And that is New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. It was just like the little tiny mass market paperback, and it's like the motion picture version. So I didn't want that. I have my whole set there of the original Twilight. You can see in the corner Breaking Dawn and Midnight Sun. So yeah. I read it and I do love it. I love Twilight. I'm a Twi whore. I love them. Then we have Sorry for My Familiar Volume 1. I bought it also at Books A Million in the cheap section. I read it and didn't care for it. And then I bought How to Cure a Ghost because I saw it in Kendall Jenner's, like when she was giving a tour of her house, and I was like, wow, like she also suffers with anxiety. Maybe I'll enjoy it. I didn't, so yeah. Oh, How to Cure a Ghost is by Fariha Roisin. Faria Roisin, I think. Then we have Heart Talk by Cleo Wade. I bought it thinking it was like a poetry book, but it's like not really. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. Then I bought The Ancient Magus Bride. This was full price. This one was in the cheap section. And I didn't really enjoy it. This is by Kore Yamazaki. It really wasn't my thing. I think I gave it like 2 stars. I wasn't really like into it. So we got rid of that one. Then I read Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Kaw. It's a very short book. I read it and I didn't really love it. So So yeah, I'm getting rid of it. It's supposed to be like a horror one, and it wasn't really like, the ambiance wasn't given for me, you know. And then I have I'm Not Your Paper Princess, which is a very tiny, small poetry book that I bought from Amazon, and I didn't really connect to it, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. Because the hard thing about poetry is that, at least for me to like it, I have to connect to it, I feel like. And I didn't connect to hers. So, that's why. Then I have Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. I read this one recently, and it was just okay. So, I was debating whether to get rid of it or not, but I'm like, I'm never going to reread this again, so might as well give it to someone that will. You know? I just read this one recently, and I don't know if it's because I listened to it on audiobook, or maybe I just wasn't there where I had to be mentally, but I didn't enjoy it at all. I gave it a 1 star. And it's Skin of the Sea. This is the only book I've read this month, and I hated it. The cover is beautiful and gorgeous, though. And it's by Natasha Bowen, but I didn't really like it. One Mermaid Will Defy the Gods. So, I loved the blurb in the back, that's why I bought it, but when I did the audiobook, I didn't love it. So I don't know if it's the space I was in mentally, or just the book and I just, you know, but no. Then I have Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey. Book lovers can be haters too. So it's like a enemies to lovers kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't love it. I think I gave it 2 stars. It wasn't like bad. It just wasn't memorable or that entertaining either. So we have that. Then we have Paper Towns by John Green. I think this is I only have like 3 John Green books, I think. And this is the only one I haven't really cared for. I liked The Fault in Our Stars. Looking for Alaska isn't by him. Yes, it is. I really enjoyed that one. But Paper Towns just wasn't it for me. So, getting rid of that. I think it was 2 stars. Then we have Fallen by Lauren Kate. And I watched the movie. The movie sucks. The book is just a 2-star read. It wasn't anything great. You know, I was looking for that like gothic Twilight vampire vibe, and that's not what I got. So they're not vampires, but you know what I mean. That's what I wanted. And then we have Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, Volume 1. But I feel like this is like a thicker, I don't know if the mangas are this thick or if it's like, it includes 2 volumes. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. I think I gave it 1 star. Like, it just wasn't enjoyable and fun for me. Which is good because I ran out of space in my manga shelves. So, I got some mangas out of there. Then I have 5 Worlds, The Sand Warrior, which I bought at Books A Million in the cheap section. And it wasn't bad, but it was like, I think like a 2-star read. So I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything like memorable that I would want to reread. Like, the only graphic novels that I have reread are Fangs, which I totally recommend. I love it. And everyone's an alien when you're an alien too, and it's tabbed if you can see that. I like love this. Like, this is just so cute. Let me see the first one. The first one I have tabbed. It says, "Oh gee, well, nobody has ever asked me about myself. Well, I guess everybody tells me I am too small and too slow to make a difference in this world. But I am making a difference in my own world, and I hope that is enough." These little snails. It's just like, you are making a difference in your own world. So I totally 100% recommend those two mangas. And I'm assuming if you're watching me, you love books. So I totally recommend Book Love. I think I also reread Book Love, which is just like relatable things. Like, let me see. Happiness for bookworms is finding the perfect spot in a cafe, a book sale, taking out a fresh stack of library books, telling about books they've read, the intoxicating smell of bookshop, someone saying they loved the book you recommended, following your favorite authors on social media and acting as if they're your friends, unexpectedly receiving a gift, and it's the book you always wanted. So those are like my top 3 graphic novels, honestly. I love them. So I 100% totally recommend. And then we're just missing 2 more graphic novels and we're done. We have Head Games that I think I also found somewhere on sale. I don't know if it was a 2-star or 1-star. This is more like crime and stuff. So like, I like crime, like criminal, like he's a criminal, not like crime, like murder mystery. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. I know people like it, but I didn't. And it is by Craig McDonald and Kevin Singles. And lastly, this one was full price because I thought I was gonna love it. And that is Monstrous Volume 1. And I didn't really care for it, so I'm also getting rid of this one. But yeah, so we're getting rid of all these. It literally doesn't. Oh, it's by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Takeda. Them. So I'm getting rid of these books, and like I said, I'm gonna put them in like a blind date with a book, obviously as used books, and I like the little accessories and stuff, in my Etsy shop. So I will link my Etsy shop below. I don't know if these will be up by the time I put this video because I want to wrap everything first and just accessorize them and do everything, but I'll try to have them all and have them all in categories. These are all basically YA. I think there's like 2 or 3 middle grades in there, but everything else is YA. So if you're interested in YA blind date with a book and these sound interesting, obviously you can look it up and see if it's like fantasy or whatever and choose one of those when I put the categories. But yeah, so I read most of these books and I just didn't love them, but some of them I did buy just because they were cheap and I was like, well, you know, let me grow my collection. And now I'm not in a place where I really want to do that anymore. Now I'm very selective about the books that I buy just because of this same thing. Like, I don't want this all going on. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you very soon in my next video. Bye.